So, before I get started, I just wanted to say Happy Lunar New Year. Also, before we begin, I'd like to say, why, Granada? Why do you always do this to me? So, how this will work is I'll go over my Champions League group stage predictions, and I'll also make some predictions for the round of 16. So, here we go. We start off with Group A. And oh, Man United. Look, I knew the Red Devils would be disappointing, right? I didn't think they'd be this disappointing. I initially had them finishing in the Europa League spot, and to be fair, that could have happened had they won against Bayern. Actually, that's impossible. Never mind. Also, I have to say, I completely underestimated Copenhagen. I mean, after going winless in their first 3 matches, I really thought they wouldn't have a chance, but they've completely turned it around in their last 3. So, all the credit to them, because they've been one of the underdog stories of this group stage. And Galatasaray. Look, I thought Ziyech would be the difference maker in this Galatasaray side, and while he has been, his effect hasn't been as big as I imagined, so Galatasaray end up in the 3rd place spot instead. And United? Yeah, we've gone through this already. Group B, we had Arsenal finishing 1st, and PSV finishing 2nd. And Sevilla? Boy. Everything I'm saying is aging like milk, isn't it? Just last season, Sevilla finished 3rd in their Champions League qualification group, went down to the Europa League, and then won the Europa League despite flirting with relegation that season. I mean, given their finances, what did you expect? Yeah, their finances are still a mess this season. I mean, they sold Rakitic to the Saudi Pro League just a few weeks ago, so I thought they would be disappointing, but once again, I didn't see them being this disappointing. Ramos did make an impact, but it wasn't enough to carry Sevilla over the finish line. They're completely eliminated from all European competitions this season. Group C. We continue this pattern of me getting every single team right, except for the 3rd place teams. I kept overestimating Union Berlin, and yeah, they've had their moments in this group stage. That 1-0 loss to Napoli deserves all the praise because Napoli were limited to only 1 shot on target, and all the credit to the Union Berlin fans because they stuck by their team through thick and thin. And right now, Union Berlin are actually really close to the relegation zone in the Bundesliga, so this aged like milk. Man, my credibility is all just gone by this point. Oh, we also had Real Madrid finishing 1st because, I mean, what did you expect? Napoli they finished 2nd, but they were also rather underwhelming this season, both in the Champions League and domestically. Something to consider for later. Group D, oh my gosh, my prediction was just a complete mess. Every single place wrong. I overestimated Inter, completely undersold Real Sociedad, and Benfica. Why you gotta do this to me, Benfica? Just why? But yeah, Group D. Group D was not it. Group E, oh for goodness sake, I keep getting everything wrong. Atletico Madrid. I underestimated Atletico Madrid. I underestimated Lazio, although, let's be honest, me putting them at 4th was kind of me wanting them to finish 4th because, well, it's not all their fans, but certain fans' behavior. Feyenoord finished 3rd instead of 1st. I thought they'd be a lot more competitive this season, but no, they go down to the Europa League. And Celtic disappointed Europe once again. Group F. Also known as the Group of Chaos. Now, I know some of you thought I was underestimating Newcastle, and I might have undersold them a bit because they did get that 4-1 win against PSG, and let's be honest, in the return leg against PSG, they were probably robbed of a victory. But I also knew that although Newcastle have a strong squad, their inexperience in Europe would show. Plus, I'm not sure how good Eddie Howe is at managing both European and domestic competitions, so that was bound to play a part as well. But same old story, I underestimated Dortmund, overestimated Milan, and to be fair, I was almost right about PSG finishing 3rd. Almost. If not for that final match day, I would have been right about PSG going to the Europa League. Man, we got so close to bantering Parisian fans. Group G. Yeah, I got this one perfect. I mean, it's Man City. The scriptwriters always factor in Man City. What did you expect? this is going to get boring in 10 years. And Group H, I pretty much got... Actually, I did get that one spot on as well. Barca were far more underwhelming than I thought they would. I mean, that last day loss against Antwerp, it gives me emotional damage. The worst defense in the league. And we can only score 2 against them. And they keep coming back as well. Reliving that pain from months ago. So fun. But yeah, at least Barca finished first in their group. Bayern can't torment us for the umpteenth time. Yay! So those were my group stage predictions. Some were good, others were complete hot garbage. Actually, most of them were hot garbage. Now it's time for the round of 16 predictions, and I'm sure I'm gonna get a lot of these wrong. Oh boy. So our first match, we have Copenhagen and Man City, and despite the odds, I think... Oh, who am I kidding? Man City are winning this. Easy. The script writers won't let any other outcome happen. Now, to be fair, Man City, they still look scary this season, right? They're still a force to contend with. Actually, no one wants to face them at the moment. But they don't seem as downright terrifying as they were last season. I mean, last season, I don't think any team would confidently say they could get a result against Man City, or at least no sane team would. I mean, they humiliated Leipzig 7-0 last season. They completely dominated Bayern in the quarterfinals. There was that 4-0 drubbing of Real Madrid in the semifinals. Although their showing against Inter Milan was slightly underwhelming, they were still so strong last season. And this season, although it's not quite shown, they're still at an extremely high level, and I think they'll probably be one of my contenders for the eventual winner. So yeah, in this tie, Man City go through. RB Leipzig against Real Madrid. We did get news today that Jude Bellingham got injured and will miss the first leg of Leipzig versus Real Madrid, but I'm gonna be honest, Real Madrid still have too much firepower to realistically worry about that, so yeah, I'm going with Real Madrid's go through for this one, although I would love if they got knocked out, let's be honest. But yeah, I'm predicting Real Madrid go through. PSG versus Real Sociedad. Okay, I might be going a little bit controversial here, but I'm going to say PSG win the first leg and then blow it in the second leg. Actually, that might not be too controversial of an opinion. I know Real Sociedad are, on paper, the underdogs, and PSG's domestic form has been pretty good lately, but look, PSG bottling it in Europe. This is football heritage. So yeah, I'm going with Real Sociedad for this one, even though they are a bit underwhelming in La Liga right now. Lazio versus Bayern. This is right after Bayern lost 3-0 to Bayer Leverkusen, and a bunch of strange tactics from Tuchel. I mean, I didn't understand that lineup at all from Tuchel, suddenly reverting to a 3-4-2-1 formation when Bayern has played 4-2-3-1 for practically the entire season, starting a 19-year-old defensive midfielder in one of the biggest games of the season. I know Kimmich has been awful this season, but still, a right back at left wing back. Dyer starting over De Ligt. What happened? But despite all this, provided Tuchel doesn't do Pep-style overthinking but minus all the positive parts, I think Bayern are clinching this. I mean, I'm pretty sure Lazio has been underwhelming in Serie A as well, so I'm going to say Bayern for this one. Next, we have PSV versus Dortmund. Underdogs versus bottlers. Man, this is a tough one. I mean, Dortmund, they lost Bellingham. They have been okay in the Bundesliga, but still, let's not forget, last season in the Champions League, they had that criminal display against one of the worst Chelsea sides in recent memory. So, I really don't know. I still trust in Dortmund to get past the round of 16. I'm going to say they just barely edge past PSV for this one, but if Dortmund somehow managed to blow it, I would not be surprised at all. I know that sounds ugly, but still. It's Dortmund. Inter Milan versus Atletico Madrid next, and we have two heavyweights right off the bat. I think that for this one, I'm going with Inter, I mean, they are the defending champions. Lautaro Martinez is one of the most informed strikers at the moment, and they have Jan Sommer, who is one of the most underrated keepers I've ever seen. I mean, the man is just a complete wall, especially against Bayern for some reason. And plus, Atletico Madrid, they have shown really inconsistent form sometimes this season. They have lost quite a few matches where they should have won, except for Real Madrid for some reason. They've been Carlo Ancelotti's kryptonite, which I'm very appreciative of. But their defense is also a lot more shaky than it used to be, so I think I'm going with Inter for this one. Porto versus Arsenal. Yeah, I'm going with Arsenal for this one. Look, Porto are a very good team. They're a really good team out of Portugal, but let's be honest, Arsenal have been in stunning form lately. I think that'll translate to Europe as well. And yeah, Arsenal through to the quarterfinals. And finally, last but not least, Napoli versus Barca. Oh boy. There is no clear winner here. There is no better team here. Only dumb and dumber. Between Napoli and Barca, it's not a case of who plays better football, it's who can disappoint more. And look, I might have my Barcelona bias, but I feel like Barcelona have been less disappointing than Napoli this season, and we have hit slight improvements in form recently, especially with Victor Roque in the squad now. I feel like Barcelona just barely edge past Napoli. Maybe we win the first leg and lose the second leg, but by a shorter or by a smaller goal difference or something. So I feel like we can probably beat Napoli, if only barely. I think we can. It'll be tough, but we should be able to do it. I can't wait for that statement to come back and haunt me for the rest of my days. But yeah, I'm predicting Barca go through. So those were my Champions League predictions. I can't wait to come back to this and see how badly I messed up on a lot of these, probably. But what do you think? Do you agree with my predictions? Do you think they're hot garbage? Let me know down in the comments, and I'll see you next time.